Levin here, and welcome to the 1998 Australian Grand Prix, the first round of the 1998 Formula 1 season. Now, before we get into this race, let me just clarify a few things over the 1998 season, as this is the first race, so it gives us a bit of background to what we can see this season. Okay, now, the 1998 season sees, I believe, the 49th running of the Formula 1 World Championship that started in 1950, and this year saw McLaren come up to the front of the grid for the first time since Ayrton Senna, with Mika Hakkinen, the Flying Finn, taking his first Formula 1 World Championship victory, and McLaren's first since, I believe, 1991? I could be wrong there. So you can tell it was a very, very famous and very popular victory for both. It was also Mercedes' first championship as an engine supplier since, I think, the 50s, when Mercedes were actively involved in Formula 1 racing. Now, there was a few reasons why Hakkinen and in turn David Coulthard, who came second, were so dominant this year. Key of which was a set of new regulations introduced for 1998 that saw the width of the cars reduced, and the introduction of grooved tyres that will be a mainstay in Formula 1 for another 11 years or so. The point of these was to reduce cornering speeds and aid overtaking on straights, biasing towards that. McLaren best interpreted these brand new rules, along with the hiring of Adrian Newey from Williams as their head designer. So, big loss for Williams, big gain from McLaren. Speaking about Williams, another reason they weren't so dominant this year is because the Renault in '97 announced that they were pulling out of Formula 1 as an engine supplier, which saw both Williams and Benetton, the only other team to have Renault engines, use Mecachrome badged engines. The Mecachrome helped the development of the Renault engine, so in a way it was still the same old people, just without the money and support from Renault in France. In the case of Benetton, they labelled their engines under the name Playlife, after a line of sporting goods from the United Colours of Benetton. Finishing up also on Williams, you'll notice that their colours are a little bit different this year after a new sponsor. I'm not going to name the sponsor due to tobacco laws. So their colours are now red, not blue as they've been in past years. Other changes we've seen this year was Damon Hill joins Jordan from Arrows, and Jarno Trulli joins Prost after, in real life, he did a really good job in keeping Prost competitive in the absence of Olivier Panis after his big crash in Canada. That saw him rewarded with a drive for 1998, part reason because Prost was now under the obligations of Honda to have a Japanese driver. Then again, they switched engine manufacturers with Jordan, so Jordan now drive with Mugen Honda engines and Prost with an old French Peugeot engine. So interesting results there. But as for me, Kent Levin, I am now driving for Benetton, as we saw announced at the start of the Austrian Grand Prix from last year. Now, I'm joined this season with Giancarlo Fisichella, who was formerly with Jordan. Now, this, of course, means that I'm replacing Alexander Wurz in Benetton for this year. In real life, Wurz was rewarded from his 3 races of replacing Gerhard Berger with a full-time drive in '98, and will go on to race with Benetton for a few seasons. To moderate success, but still not too much success, so we eventually saw him as a test driver role and then out of Formula 1 into the WEC. Originally I was going to drive as replacing Giancarlo Fisichella and have Wurz race with me, but considering both careers and also the fact that since I'm going to be bit with Benetton for 3 years, i.e. playing Benetton in F1 Career Challenge, I'm going to be racing with Fisichella anyway, so I've decided to go about this right. But hopefully, new team, and despite new engine and some new head staff around, I should see much better results here than what I did last year. Okay, now finally, there is a few changes to the F1 calendar for this year. Most notably is the removal of the European Grand Prix at Jerez after the problem that happened to the race in 1997. So we now got a 17 race grid. 1917 race calendar, sorry. But two race changes throughout the season was the moving of both the Austrian and the Spanish Grand Prix to early in the calendar. Looking at the calendar, Spain should be after Monaco, but now it is placed before Monaco, after the San Marino Grand Prix. And the Austrian Grand Prix has been moved forward a couple of months to take place just after the British Grand Prix, which will become a mainstay of the Austrian Grand Prix for a few years until it's taken off the calendar for a second time. Anyway, now that's out of the way, let's look at this Australian Grand Prix for 1998. Predictably, Mika Häkkinen wins the race with Coulthard in second, but Heinz held Frentzen in the Williams, proving Williams are still relevant, third place. A little bit of controversy about this, because at one point Mika Häkkinen had to go through the pits because he misheard an instruction, which gave Coulthard the lead, but Coulthard gave first place to Mika Häkkinen based on a gentleman's agreement they had before the race, but that wasn't enough to cause a little bit of controversy in the pit lane, but what can you do? But on a good note, this was Bridgestone's first race win as a tyre supplier, although we know in my videos this is not true. I gave Bridgestone their first race win in Italy last year. But this race just sets a mandate for what will eventually happen later in the season. Be interesting to see how this goes, whether it be true or not. Another worthwhile mention, Michael Schumacher was out relatively early in the race with engine failure. So not a good stuff for the Scuderia. Similar results to our videos from last year. Anyway, enough of that. Let's look at the starting grid for today's race. This is going to be easier to mention because it's not on autopilot. I got control of how I read the grid. In first place, we got David Coulthard with a 129.928. Following behind him is Michael Schumacher, just by a whisker, with a 129.933. So not 5 thousandths of a second. So very close battle there. But in third place, we got Kent Levin, his best qualifying position on this track. Last year, he qualified 7th and eventually finished 7th. Hopefully that starting from the second row, we'll see him pass the Ferrari and the McLaren to score race wins. Following behind Levin, joining him on the second grid is Mika Häkkinen. So we can see here McLaren's dominant in this year, particularly they will need to after a poor form last year. On the third row of the grid, we got Eddie Irvine in the second Ferrari, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, the best of the Williams, in 6th place with a 31.057. Rounding out the top 10, we've got Jean Alesi, Damon Hill, Ralf Schumacher, and Johnny Herbert. Really good result from the Sauber there. 1.5 seconds behind David Coulthard there. In 11th place, we got my teammate Giancarlo Fisichella, 1.570 seconds behind Coulthard. So not terribly bad, predictable in the scheme of things, but I would prefer him to be 1 or 2 places ahead, so we can see. So I want to see some support maybe. Oh, Jacques Villeneuve, 12th place, 131.861. So not a good result there for the Canadian there. And following behind him, we got your little motley crew of middle to back markers. Ruben Barrichello in the Stewart, Mika Salo in the Arrows now. He's signed on with Arrows after leaving Tyrrell. And then a new Argentinian driver, Esteban Tero, in the Arrow. Minardi, sorry, I apologize. And then in 16th place, we got Jos Verstappen in the Stewart. So he's my replacement. In real life, it would have been Jan Magnussen, but Jan Magnussen was sacked halfway through the season, so he was replaced by Verstappen after Verstappen was sacked by Tyrrell to hire Riccardo Rossi. A decision that caused Ken Tyrrell to leave the team, although this is the last year of Tyrrell competing before they become British American Racing for 1999. Rounding out the grid, we've got Pedro Diniz in the second Arrows, Jarno Trulli and Olivier Panis. Ooh, not very good qualifying position there in the Prosts. And then following behind them, we've got the two Tyrrell drivers, Toranosko Takagi from Japan and Riccardo Rossi. But both of them are qualified within 107%, so no problems there. So, let's get this 1998 Australian Grand Prix underway. Okay, the drivers have finished their Parade lap now, they're on the grid, starting the Australian Grand Prix now, and it's David Coulthard that takes the early lead, followed by Michael Schumacher and Kent Levin in the Benetton. As we come down towards the jump, no, Mika Hakkinen has taken third place as we come into Brabham for the first time. Oh, Schumacher and Hakkinen's off as well as Levin. Hakkinen's fallen back and Levin has gone into third place. So Kent Levin, the Australian, is in third place behind Michael Schumacher's Ferrari and David Coulthard's Benetton. As we come into the white full corner for the corner 3 for the first time. Second gear corner. Not too shabbily done. Now coming to turn 4 past the cricket oval. Very clean there. And as we're starting to get into a rhythm now. First place, David Coulthard. Second place, Michael Schumacher. Third place, Kent Levin. Fourth place, I assume, Mika Hakkinen. And by the looks of things, Kent Levin is negotiating this track not too badly. Well, there's actually a few reasons for that. One of which, it's Albert Park, so it's a track I know very well. But even more so considering that Formula 1 98, as I've discovered, it is probably one of the worst Formula 1 games ever made. Bit of a story behind that. The reason was that Bizarre Creations, the creators of the original F1 game and Formula 1 97, left to Psygnosis, and Psygnosis' first choice were Fractions. Turned it down in order to do the original driver game. Before we continue, the race positions after the first lap, we've got David Coulthard, Michael Schumacher, Kent Levin, Eddie Irvine, the second Ferrari, then Mika Hakkinen, and Jarno Trulli in the Prost. So, good work from Trulli there, considering he started quite a long way down, so I can only assume that as the drivers were approaching Brabham for the first time, there was a big pile-up of mess there that caused Trulli to jump up through the crowd. So, good job on his behalf. That's what I was saying. So, this game was entrusted into the hands of Visual Studios, who only came to fame, I think it was the Lemmings last time I saw. In other words, games that are not directly linked to racing. So, that saw the quality of the game suffer a lot, which is a shame. And the reason this is so bad is because of the physics engine. The physics engine is really bad. You feel like you're going through each corner at walking pace, but the dials and things like that said you're going through normal pace. It honestly is like a rude word. And the graphics are not very flash hot. Now I know it's a PS1, so it wouldn't be flash hot anyway, but I think I prefer F1 97 compared to this. So, however, though, one reprieve is that the oh, hang on. Oh! What in the world happened there? Michael Schumacher was going through the Prost corner, the second last corner, but darted straight out the way. They saw Kent Levin get into second place. So he's not too far behind David Coulthard now. As we finish the second lap, Coulthard's in the lead, followed by Levin, Schumacher, Irvine, Hakkinen, and Trulli. So Levin and Schumacher are the only changes to the top 6 at that point. But Kent Levin gets the fastest lap with a 1:28.600. So not too bad for the Benetton Playlife. And furthermore, Levin is only 0.2 seconds behind Coulthard. So Levin is really pushing hard. We could probably see him catching up to Coulthard and making an attack towards the last few. Oh, maybe not. Coulthard's pulled a distance on him, but not to worry. It's still a close race at this point. Levin has a lot of pressure on him if he wants to succeed here as he comes through the Clark corners, the Clark complex. Because that if he, well, in his current position, he looks to be the first Australian to get a podium in his home Grand Prix since the race was included onto the Formula 1 calendar back in 1985. So, how much of a coup would be to Australia if Levin can do that achievement? But as we look now, it could be the possibility he even get in first place after he's pulling in quite a lot of time as Coulthard as we come through Prost. Second last corner to complete the third lap. It's come through last corner, corner 16. And looks like Levin has got quite a small gap behind him. No. Coulthard has pulled wide away. The merits of the Mercedes engine, factory backed and everything, as compared to a Renault-based, more privately funded Playlife engine. But even still, crossing the start-finish line, Coulthard is only 0.60 seconds behind Coulthard. can't get my words in the gear. How am I supposed to be a good commentator if I keep doing things like that? Anyway. I think we can see a little problem there. Coulthard, as he's just coming out of corner 5, he dives to the right a bit and loses quite a bit of time. Obviously, Levin doesn't have any quals like that, so I think that's where he's catching him. And there, Coulthard did the same thing as coming out of corner 8 as we come to the clutch chicane. Looks like Levin's going to make a move for it. Is it? No. Oh, there's contact between the two. And it looks like Levin's in the lead, but I'm not sure. Look, wait, Levin's slowing down and giving Coulthard, yes, as it should, because Coulthard had the line. We don't want the physics of the game to disturb this as we come into the corners 11-12. Oh, a little bit cutting there, but looks like no disqualification flags. And as Levin passes Coulthard coming out of corner 12 to take the lead as we come into corner 13, the Ascari. Oh, a little bit loose there, but Levin still has the lead. This is sensational for the Australian crowd. Thinking about that, actually, as we look back to corner 9 and 10, the Clark Compact, that's another problem with this. If you run into someone, it slows you down or bounces you wherever, so it's quite hard to get control. As we look behind him, we've got Ken Levin in the lead, but Coulthard and Schumacher are right up his back door, so they're not making it easy for Levin to run away with the win here. Followed behind them, we've got Irvine, Hakkinen, and Trulli, so nothing's changed yet again. I got a sneaky suspicion that things are not going to change for this race. Which, looking at the lap counter, actually I should mention that this season all the races are going to be at 6 laps, because that is roughly 10 minutes, which is like I'll do for what I want to do for all the videos where I can, similar to what I did last year. There's another thing too, that lap times I feel they're a bit quicker. Well, good thing that this is the only year that they have these weird ass physics. They Signosis founded a new company to do Formula 1 99 and used the physics engine created by Bizarre Creations. So normality restored for 1999 and reputation restored too, because if they had another flop, I doubt Signosis a la Studio Liverpool would have made another game, and they go on to make another 10 more. Looking at the best lap time, seems no word is coming up yet, so I can only assume Levin has got the fastest times. We will never know, because this game doesn't exactly show the fastest times. It shows the overall record times of the track, but not the fastest times over the course of the race, and they don't always pop up the fastest lap counters. As we cross the finish line to start our final lap, the top 6 has not changed whatsoever, so as long as Levin doesn't make any mistakes, he can see himself the first Australian winner of the Australian Grand Prix since the early 80s, since this race has been put onto the Formula 1 calendar. And it shows a really good start for his first race at Benetton, and Benetton's first race both with the Playlife engines and under new management, since Flavio Briatore was sacked and replaced by... oh my goodness, the name slipped me for a minute there. But still, we had a lot of organisational and technical changes with the Benetton team, primarily with some new drivers, but let's just hope that these provide dividends, which, as they can see, they're doing now. As we come around Plastic Clark Complex, coming into corners 11 and 12, the chicane for the final time. A bit slower than from other laps, but looking at his time through split 2, it looks considerably faster, so we could maybe see a broken record on this last lap, as Kent Levin goes through Ascari for the last time. Easy there. They're coming into Stewart for the final time. Named after my old team boss and my old team. Now we're coming to Prost, another boss name on the front line grid. Very clean there, so it should be a good run as we come across the final corner. Very clean run. Kent Levin has done it. He has won the Australian Grand Prix, the first time for an Australian. Salute Kent Levin. And the best lap has not changed. So... extraordinary race for Ken Levin, the first Australian to win the Australian Grand Prix, and a good way to start the 1998 season. Is there possibilities that he could win the championship? Not sure, because he's still, well, I would say he's still young. He's only his second season in Formula 1, but nobody told Jacques Villeneuve that, as his good run last year in real life, winning the championship. So anything can happen after this really good race. And looking at the top 6 results, it remains hadn't changed. Thinking about it, I think that was another problem with this, that the positions don't change quite regularly. Anyway, Levin wins with David Coulthard coming second and Michael Schumacher coming third. Eddie Irvine in fourth, so that gives Ferrari an edge over McLaren coming into its next race, as I look to see if I slept it, as I thought. And behind Irvine, we got Mika Hakkinen and Jarno Trulli scoring 1 point for the Prost team, so congratulations onto him. And as we look at the driver's standings, it just reflects that of first place. The race, Levin in first with 10 points, followed by David Coulthard and Michael Schumacher in 4 points. Eddie Irvine 3 points, Mika Hakkinen on 2, and Jarno Trulli on 1. And as you can see, the rest are drawn on 0 points. But as the season progresses, that should change. Particularly, I want to see one of the Williams come up a bit as well. And look in the Constructors' Championship, Benetton McLaren, Benetton Playlife officially, ended it on 10 points. McLaren Mercedes with Coulthard third and Coulthard second, and Mika Hakkinen's fifth, season push ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. So really good start for Ferrari, McLaren, and Benetton, although Benetton only had one driver scoring. So if that keeps up throughout the rest of the season, I have doubts that they're going to have a big foothold in the championship as compared to last year. So there we have it for the 1998 Australian Grand Prix. Overall, a successful one. I'm very chuffed about that. Hopefully that sets a mandate for the rest of the season, particularly because it's my second season in Formula 1, and with a new team, this is the perfect opportunity for me to establish my reputation in the sport. I hope you guys enjoyed this race, and I'll see you guys in the next round in Brazil.